Why do so many agents struggle to answer the question, how's the market? It's because they confuse headlines with the homelines. Here's the reality. Real estate is a local phenomenon, but it's influenced by national forces. This is the traffic, their school district, their price point, their street. Your job is not to be the weatherman. Your job is to be the sense maker. The value is explaining how the national weather changes the local traffic and influences what they need to know about. As we get started in 2026, as a business coach, I have a real big concern with my friends in real estate. When your friend asks you, how's the market and what do you think is going to happen this year? When that next appointment you go on goes, what do you think is going to happen with the real estate market this year? When you call that lead you need to follow up on who's considering buying or selling in 2026, and they ask you, what do you think is going to happen with the market this year? The word salad that comes out of most of your mouths is a problem. In today's video, let's fix that now. In today's training, we're going to take a quick look at what you said last year and see if there's anything that we need to bring forward into this new one. Number two, we're going to make a commitment to covering the housing market in 2026. Number three, we're going to cover the 4 levels of campaign maximization, specifically for the housing market. And then number 4, we're going to build your 2025 year in review and your 26 market forecast script so that you can go execute this campaign. You can get the playbook down below. It'll have all kinds of prompts with the AI. It'll have the script examples. It'll show you how to maximize your campaign. So just enjoy this video, listen to it one time, get the playbook, and then get into action. If you haven't met yet, I'm Coach Patrick Ferry. You can click onto my website and learn all about who I am, what I do, and who I serve. But in today's video, most of you just need to know that this is a passion topic for me. I have been begging my real estate friends and clients to cover the housing market for years, and I've developed all kinds of scripting and framework and strategies to help you become more referable with the people in your community, and now in today's landscape, that you become the recommendation from the AI and the algorithms. So let's dive in. The first place to start is just to look back. What did you say, or did you post anything? What did you predict from 2025 at the beginning of last year? And if you didn't do anything, don't worry, we'll get you started here. But I have a bunch of coaching clients that sent out an email. They did a post, a YouTube video. Let's pull all that information up. There's a critical component about becoming a housing market expert, which is humility. Lots of people get these things wrong, and that's okay. You don't need to be perfectly accurate. But what we do is we pull forward, hey, I remember I said, and here's what happened, and here's what I missed, and now moving forward, here's what I'm looking at. That combination gives you so much more credibility. So let's go find all of your stuff and let's pull that stuff forward. But first, before you create any content, I need you to make 2 big decisions. Decision number 1 is going to be your commitment to frequency. How often will you show up and cover the housing market? Minimum standard, cover this quarterly. If you're pretty good, let's do this monthly. Some of you want to build a brand as an expert. That's where you would cover it weekly, and you would be looking at advanced strategies called trend jacking. Decision number 2 is, what is going to be your primary platform where you want to build and grow your audience for this content? Most of you guys know that the 2 primary platforms to follow me is one on YouTube and then one with my email newsletter. But what is that for you? Where is your primary platform? Are you better on LinkedIn? Are you better on Facebook, Instagram, email? Let's make a decision about what your primary platform is so that we can ask your community to follow you. Everybody is interested in what's happening with the market, and everybody knows that what happens this week affects next week, and what happens this month affects next month, this quarter, to the next quarter, last year, into the new year. There's so many variables to follow. This is what makes it so interesting. It's an opportunity for you to grow and expand your audience and add some great content to your brand and marketing. Okay, let's take a look at the 4 levels of campaign maximization we need to address. Level number 1 is just written content. What do I mean by this? It's very easy today to go into your preferred AI and say, hey, ChatGPT, Grok, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity. For this exercise, I prefer either Grok, Gemini, or Perplexity when dealing with the housing market. But it'd be very easy to go to any of the AIs and say, hey, help me write an email to my database. The content is what happened with the housing market in my state and local area in 2025, and what are some of the best predictions for 2026. All of them will give you a really nice summary that's probably 95% accurate and probably reads relatively well. And you could probably copy, paste, make a few edits and send that. Now, of course, you would have a call to action. And this call to action for this campaign, what we want to offer is we just want everybody to book a coffee meeting with you if they want to discuss their real estate plans for 2026. So we have the call to action in there. So level 1 is just written. It's easy. The AI will literally write that for you. A Facebook post, a LinkedIn post, an Instagram post, a Google Business Profile post, and a simple blog post. That really covered the basic gamut of level number 1. Let's talk about level number 2. Level number 2 is a little bit harder. This is where we're going to get into short form video. So now, again, the AI could absolutely help you write this into a short form video script, and you could perform that script on some of those applications where you'd have the teleprompter on your phone. I use a little teleprompter right here with a software called Descript. The problem with Descript is it's all landscaped. It doesn't really go vertical. So I'd have to have a video editor to get the vertical version of this. There's a million little software pieces that you can use today. And we can ask the AI to create a 30-second, a 60-second, and a 90-second script for your housing market report. And you can just shoot that video. To me, that is kind of level number 2. It's a little bit moderate, a little bit more advanced than just written. Now let's go to level number 3. This is where we're going long form. And with long form, we're going to leverage SEO. What do I mean by that? I found out when I was doing some research on YouTube SEO that people who covered the housing market, there was a lot of views. An example of that is a great client, Teresa Wellman in San Jose. Last year, we got her covering the housing market, and I think she got about 6,000 views on a long-form YouTube video. 6,000 views, that's amazing, okay? Some of my good friends who've been working on their SEO optimization of a blog post, by the way, you could just ask the AI to SEO optimize your blog post, and it'll pretty much do it. It'll pretty much write it these days. But get a longer, more thorough report done on what you saw happen last year and what you're predicting into this next year. You will be surprised. You'll probably get a lot of organic views to that long form blog post. So advanced going long form with YouTube and your blog post, trying to get a lot of organic traffic and letting the algorithms recommend you. Last, level 4, create educational content, and they have a good call to action, and it starts to produce results. Remember, the purpose of marketing is to book appointments. When you have content that you are proud of, it has a great call to action, and it's creating results, that is when you put some money behind it and do paid promotion. So we can go into your Google Ads Manager. We could take that YouTube video and promote it, and you can drive the view count up to 1,000 to 20,000 views if you wanted to. Take that Facebook post and go into your Facebook business page and boost that post if you had a nice call to action. I think that would be worthy of about $5 a day for 7 days, $35 to get good exposure for your brand with your housing market report and predictions. Expert level, if it's booking appointments and creating good results and you're proud of it, put some money behind it and let that run. So those are the 4 levels of campaign maximization. Choose your level right now, and in the playbook, you can work through a little bit more of the technical details on how to get this done. All right, now let's build your actual content and your scripting. Step number 1, let's go 2025 year in review. Now, I'm going to give you 5 buckets to cover in your year in review. But first, 2 things, your research and your role. Do the research before you create content. Remember, this is an opportunity for you to gain confidence. I want you to have more confidence when your friend or your client or that next lead asks you, What do you think is going to happen with the market this year? So step number one, go to Google Gemini Advanced Deep Research. If you haven't done this yet, it's amazing. So go Gemini, Google's AI, and then click that deep research button. You can do that with ChatGPT, and you can do some research with Claude as well. I'll put the prompt in the playbook down below of exactly what to put in there. When you do deep research, this usually takes anywhere between 5 minutes to even up to 10 minutes, and you'll have an extensive report. This thing will be probably 15 to 20 pages long where you'll read all kinds of details. So if you apply the prompt down below, you can have an extraordinary report. Now, can you use that report in some of your posting, blog posts, research? Absolutely, yes. So this is a great step one for AI and research for gaining confidence. Now that you've done some research, let's step into your role. I just want you to be the sense maker. So many clients are reading headlines that are very confusing, and I want them to come to you to just make sense. Are these crazy headlines having a positive or negative influence on our local market? I've got a little framework for you for this. Why do so many agents struggle to answer the question, how's the market? It's because they confuse headlines with the homelines. Here's the reality. Real estate is a local phenomenon, but it's influenced by national forces. Think of it like a funnel. At the top, you have the national market. This is like the weather report. Interest rates, inflation, Fed policy. Everybody gets rained on the same way, okay? At the middle is the state and the county. This is kind of the climate, right? Insurance costs, job growth, migration patterns. At the bottom is the hyper-local market. This is the traffic, their school district, their price point, their street. Your job is not to be the weatherman. Your job is to be the sense maker. The value is explaining how the national weather changes the local traffic and influences what they need to know about. Use this phrase, nationally the headline said X, but here in our county, what we actually felt was Y. The headlines happen up there, their life happens down here. Your job is to bridge that gap. Now, let's fill in those buckets. Bucket number one is the headline stat. What is the one number that summarizes 2025 in your market? Was it median price change? Was it inventory levels? Was it days on market? Was it list to sell ratio? Don't just share the national number, break it down. Bucket number two is the biggest surprise. What happened that nobody predicted? Use this line. If you told me in January of 2025 that blank would happen, I wouldn't have believed you. Now, what we saw that we didn't know, the Trump tariff effect of 2025 was going to cause the stock market to fall apart. Buyer demand shrunk and lots of people decided to pause, and actual inventory started to swell up a little bit. We saw a lot more homes on the market. And by the way, we've all been begging for that inventory to show up for the last couple of years. Finally, if you told me in January of 2025 that buyer demand would shrink and inventory would swell, I wouldn't have believed you. Bucket number three is defining the trend. What was the one trend of the year? Was it the impact of interest rates? Was it the inventory shifts? Was it buyer behavior changes? Pick one trend and apply the sense maker phrase. Nationally, the headline said X, but in our county, what we actually felt was Y. Bucket number four is the case studies. Let's bring these stats to life. There's the good, a deal that worked beautifully and what made it work. There's the bad, the deal that fell apart or the client that decided not to move forward because they were nervous. What was the lesson? Then there's the ugly, the market condition that hurt clients and how you protect people. Stories stick, data informs, combine them to win big. Bucket number five is client trends. Who's buying? Who was selling? And then who sat on the sidelines? Was there migration patterns? Were people trading up, trading down? This is local insights that national headlines can't give you. This is where your true value shows up. Here's a great script format that you can use, right? In 2025, what we saw was stat. What that meant was impact. Here's a story, case study, stat, impact, story. That's the formula that works. All right, so let's dive into the 2026 forecast and predictions. Use this formula for predictions. Quote, I believe blank will happen because blank. And if I'm right, it means blank for buyers and sellers. Prediction, reasoning, implication is the strategy. And remember, apply the sense maker lens, national forecast versus your market. Let's take a look at a couple categories for you to talk about in your prediction. Obviously, number one is where prices are headed. There's a national expectation versus your local prediction. There's a best case, worst case, and a most likely case. Which price points are vulnerable? Which ones are strongest? Category number two is inventory. Will we see relief in inventory? More of it. Do you have a new construction pipeline? Do you have the lock-in effect easing, or is it still stuck? Do you have seasonal patterns to pay attention to? Category number three, rates. At what rate do buyers jump in? At what rate do sellers list their home and finally make that move that they've been wanting to do? And generally speaking, what are the predictions for rate going into 2026? Category number four is the buyer demand. Who's buying in 2026? If the interest rates come back, do the first-time home buyers come back? Do the investors come back here in 2026? What about the move-up market? Does it finally unlock? We know that the downsizers have been doing it in spite of the interest rates. Category number five, the wild card. What's the X factor? Political changes, economic factors. Is there your local wild card? We've heard a lot about different economies in different marketplaces that have really good potential outlooks for 2026, and others, it's not looking so good. This is where your expertise comes in. Is there something that kind of makes you a little bit nervous? Now, why is the X factor so valuable? It's because it provides the cliffhanger close. Now, what do I mean by that? End your forecast with, the one thing I'll be watching most closely is blank, because that will determine whether or not we see this or that. See, when you use the cliffhanger, now you've given them a reason to follow you on your primary sources. That's your hook, and that's what keeps them coming back. Finally, let's get to the call to action and the close based upon the scenario. I've got a couple scripts and some strategies for you to book appointments and to create great opportunities. The question is, why should your audience follow you? Here's the script. I live here, I work here, and I watch the market every single day. I'll be sharing weekly, monthly, quarterly updates so you can stay informed without all the noise. If you want my personal take on what it means for your situation, let's talk. Now, let's talk about different calls to actions and closes per platform. For your email database, just say reply to this email. For social media, DM me, YouTube, subscribe and hit that bell, and I'll be back each month. If you create a downloadable, just like I created a playbook, hey, download my 2026 market guide and let's schedule a call. And of course, have a great sign off. I'll see you next year to review this video. I'll tell you where I got it right, where we got it wrong, and what I learned. That's what a real local expert does. Okay, we've got our 2025 market year in review. We've got our predictions all set. You got your campaign all dialed in. Get that playbook. It'll take it into way more details than this video. As always, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and go down below and get on my AIM 3 newsletter so you never miss one of my episodes. All right, we'll see you on the next one.